guys? Welcome back to my channel. David Sikanemi Comic here. All right, gonna do a 5 more comic book market watch, but this is clearly for cover buys only. Haven't really read any of these just for the sake of the cover, and that's why I got it. And let's find out what he's doing on the secondary market. All right, before we do this, you know what's up? Say shout out to people at 789 Comics. Use that code SNMC to get your 10% discount on all your order. And right now they have Superman Action Comic issue #1, the New 52 by Natalie Sanders. Also Fantastic Four #1 by Gabriel Delato, along with Batman 160, another Natalie Sander variant cover. So once again, use that code SNMC to get 10% discount on all your orders. All right, just got out of the shower. I figured why not just do a video, and since I'm in the mood, and let's find out what the first book is. This is one of my very favorite covers. Cold Dead War, issue #1 by Heavy Metal Publishing, and also this is this also comes in a 4-pack of set, which you have the original, you have the virgin, you have the risque version, and also the zombie version as well too. So look out for that as well. But this is the cover A for, I believe this is cover A for the second print for Cold Dead War. A great cover of like a World War I or World War II things that they put on a plane. But yeah, it's a great cover. I also do have the risque version of this, but I'm not going to show it to you on this video because I might get banned. So let's find out what this book is doing on the secondary market, what is asking, and what is being sold for. Let's find out. All right, we got here asking $10, $25, 16, 15. This is the topless version of it, so 15. And bomb peanut. I guess this is the GI exclusive, so I'm assuming this has to be the topless. Here's a $12, 14, 10. Here's that version I was telling you about, asking for $40 and $8.75, $10, 29, 12, 15. Here's a 9.8 on the CBCS asking $80, 14, 20, 15, 31. Wow, $31. Cover done by George Romero, and here's $10 more. There's more here. That's the zombie version I tell you about. There's also a version of that as well. 12. This $29.12, and second printing. Jesus, not really happy with what they did on the second printing on that Summer of Superman special. There's a $15. Here's more for $13, $9.69. Here's one for $12. I guess that's pretty much it. So let's find out what is been sold for in the past 3 months. All right, here we go. Boom. Here's a whole set for $65. Wow, you got 4 risque, 4 topless. Wow. Well, $65. Not bad. Not bad. All right, here's one for $8, first and second print. This is the bulletproof version. Wow, somebody made it into a Spawn. Here's that one sold May 31st for $8. Let's find out if there's any more. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to that. Just in case if you haven't seen this cover before, now you know there's one available. There it is. Second printing. All right. Not bad. Not bad. $8. Um, I'll take it. All right. This cover here has considered as the cover of the year by Souza Micah. Harley Quinn number 38. This is the Women History Month. Harley Quinn in a cowboy outfit. Really well done. I'll tell you some history about Souza Micah, which I was boycotting anything that she did, but I just had to have this cover. Also have it in the C2E2 when it came out, the foil version of it. So, but let's find out what's it doing on a secondary market. All right, here we are. $10 a best offer, $60 on the 9 CGC 98, signed by Souza Micah for $100. And this is GSA. Yeah, Witness. Okay, 11 at $12 on a bid right now. 5 days left. Here's $10 with 5 days left. $10. Buy now. I just don't get it. Why not just get this one for almost the same price? All right, $16.37, $15. Here's one for $40. One Nathan Cersei. Here's a 9.6 for $44, $15.95. 9.8 for $75. Here's another one for $15, $69 on the 9 CGC 9.8, 15. So we can say about $10 to $15, on this particular cover of Harley Quinn. Yeah, 8.5. Wow. 9.8, 67. $58. Wow, not bad. That's the lowest so far. $250. Wow, signed by Souza Micah. All right. Here's one. Buy now for $6. $10. $68. So that's pretty much it. So we'll find out. About 10. I can say about 10 to 15 average. Yeah. So let's see. We got right here back in June 12, $6.95 best offer accepted. Here's one that sold for $13.50 in April 13, April 24, $9, $8.50 in June 12, 9.8 sold for $60.54. Back in late May, June 6, $11. Here's two. I don't know if it's no, just one for $11.95. 9.8 sold for under $50 free shipping. That's not a bad deal. All right, $10 here, 65, 9.8 back in May 28th and 11.42. Here's $12 back in June 1st, $16 April 9th. Here's one for $10, June 15th. Do we got any more? Here we go, $7.50 on a bid on June 10th. Here's $70, April 13th, CGC 9.8, 9.6 sold for $13.50. Wow. Oh man, that hurts because that's way less than the book and the grading and the shipping and what. Never put it on auction, buddy. $13 on. Wow. Wow. $1. Yowza. Okay. Here's $40. Here's $8.50 on an auction back in May 29. And that is it. So that's so for average about what? $5 to $8, you said? Yeah. It's a great cover. It's a great cover. All right, the next one is one of my favorite as well. Freddy 562 has kind of lured me to get a couple of the. I also have this in the CGC 90, but it's Mockingbird issue number 2, 1 to 25 ratio variant, cover done by Nin Cheng. Yeah, let's find out. There it is, just in case if you guys. It's a great cover. Love this type of cover as my for me. It's just like I said, it's just the cover by. All right, so let's see what this one is doing on the secondary market. Right now, there's one that is asking $55, $25. Anymore? Let's kind of scroll down just to see. Um, oh, I have that cover. All right, here's one at CBCS 175, $200 in CGC 9.8. Um, I don't get it. How 25 is more less than the 1 to 10. Still a great cover. Anyway, here's 24, 33. Um, $650. First appearance of what? Gabby. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to that Nan Chen cover. Let's see what it's sold for. All right. So I don't see any. Oh, here's 2433 back in April 21st. I don't know why the pictures are fuzzy like this. 1300 on the wow. Bum, 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 bum. Yep. $24. Remember this? Remember this rose beige? A silk number 2. This was going for like 125. Now you can get it for 35. So it's a lesson learned that sometimes FOMO get the best of you. You end up losing hundreds of dollars. I guess that's pretty much it. So we can say that this book particularly is been sold for average of $24. So right around the ratio. So I'm happy with that. All right, the next one here. This was also a cover by, if you know, Art Adams. Um, this is X-Men Hellfire Gala, issue number 1. Remember when this came out? This was average about what? 45, 55. Yeah. All right, so let's find out what this one is selling for. Oh, this is 1 to 25 ratio variant. I forgot. That's right. Here's $50 on a near mint. Signed by Art Adams. Here's Adam Hughes, 1 of 50. Not the greatest Adam Hughes, but all right. Here's 17, asking 17. Here's 20. Here's a whole set of 5 for $40. Here's one signed by Adams for 175 and a CGC 98. Here's a CGC 98 asking 130, $20, $21, $20, 35, $60. So 23.99 for CGC 98 and 60 is at size 15. So it's average about $15 to $20. Let's see. So way below average ratio. This is what actually sold for. $14.50. Here's $15 back in June 23rd. Here's 9.8 sold for $38. Golly, that's a deal. All right, for another one for $33 June 9th on the same day. Probably have many of them. All right, here's a 9.8, same guy, color fix. Yeah, look at that. $23.50, $51. This is the highest he got. On May 26th, $45. On May 19th, 55 on a roll, $11. 9/8, so for $30.59. Wow, that's almost as the same price as getting it graded. $9 on the auction, $20, 16 on the auction here, 18, $5, $7 back in what? April 5th, April 10th. Yeah, well, it's pretty much all around. I mean, the 9E is selling for $35 on an auction. Jesus, 33, yeah, $23. Oh well, just like I said, sometime waiting is the best thing that you can do when it comes to this FOMO or cover of the week or new releases. Anyway, I just want to tell you that this cover is that original OA right there. Right there is this. Zenoscope present Horror and Fantasy Illustrated issue number 1 by Sonia Matas. There's also a version and there's also a topless version of this cover here, but I only got the cover. I believe this is cover D, if not C. But I also got the 1 out of 20, which is the version. Great cover. That's why I had to get that original uh, OA of this cover right here. Reached out to Sonia Matas, made a struck a deal, and it's at my home now. All right, let's see what is doing. Like I said, this is just clearly all for cover buy only. Don't know the story of it. Don't really care because the cover looks great. $7, $5.60, $6, $8, $19, $7 here, $25.50. Yeah, this is the 1 out of 20. Really great cover. Bum, 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 bum. Here's $8.40. $20. Well, it's a cover C. $20. I think that's pretty much it. All right, let's find out what's it doing on the secondary market as being sold for. So average about what? I say $5 to $7. So boom. Here's 14. Cover C. So yeah, this just is not a version. You normally would have something. 725, 1875 back in June 3rd. A lot of Stephen King. I think that's pretty much it. Wow. So the last one that has been sold was back in June 3rd for 1875. Was 20 asking 25. 1875. Not bad. Not bad. Can't complain with that. Really can't. It's a great cover, I must say. All right, so that is all just the cover by books that I'm showing. I hope you enjoyed this content, but before we say goodbye, once again, say hello to 789 Comics. Use that code SNMC to get 10% discount on all your orders. It's not a one-time thing. You can use many times you want. Go check them out, 789comics.com. Use the code SNMC to get your 10% discount on all your orders.